Alright guys, today we're going to do the front near side wheel bearings. Reason being, Monday of this week, on the way back from Coventry, started to get a bit of grumbling, grinding noise coming from the wheel. And after 20 minutes it turned to a constant ringing all the way home to Manchester. So when I got in, I put the camera back on the chassis, pointed it at the wheel, went out for a 10-minute drive and recorded the wheel. You don't see much, but you can see the wheel spinning, but you can hear the bearings constantly ringing. So that's the job for today. Whether I get it done today, tomorrow or whatever, that's dependent on weather. But that's the job we're going to do today. It's going to start it anyway. So I'm going to show you from jacking it up, taking the wheel off, the complete process of doing your wheel bearings right to the very end, where I put the wheel back on, tighten the bolts up, torque the nuts up, put the wheel trim on, and go and do a video of the wheel again to show you that there's no issues with the bearings. I've worked on vehicles a long time over the years and I know what I'm doing, so I don't anticipate any issues when I fitted this bearing. But I must point out, if you've done wheel bearings in the past on your vehicles and you're quite confident or competent to do this job, by all means do it. Watch the video, it will give you a bit of an insight of what it is on this vehicle. But if you haven't done anything like this before and you watch the video and you think, yeah, I'm going to have a go at that, don't be tempted. Don't just have a dabble because you feel like you want to have a go. Take it to the garage and get them guys to do it rather. Because if you do it and you fuck up or you miss something and you don't do something right, you might have a catastrophic failure. Your wheel might come off, you're going to cause an accident out like that. So be mindful of that. Only do this job if you know what you're doing. Okay guys? Cool. Let's get it started. That's the bearing you can hear. All jacked up and supported on sturdy blocks of wood on both sides. And now we can crack on with removing the wheel, and then we can take the brake pads out and remove the hub. This flexi hose connects to this bracket here, this stabilizing bar. So you have to undo this nut, the one I'm pointing to now. You just whiz that one out, and then when you lift the caliper up, when you've done everything, we can lift it up and tie it up at the top so it's out of the way, and then we can take the disc and front section off. Turn the wheel a bit more. There's the bolt out. Don't have to change any of that, but I'll put a new bolt in there because, as you can see, that looks shit. That's loose now, so when we do the caliper, everything will be lifted up the top. So we're going to do the rest of the bolts. Got to knock the pin out now. Not on with them. They've only been on a year. So they're in good nick. Right, that one I'm pointing to at the top, 19mm, and this one is a 24mm. Okay, now the caliper has all been detached and the shoes are out. We can now lift this over. Lift it over the way. We're going to rest it on this piece of wood. Get that bracket over the back. That's it. Don't forget, you've still got your sensor cables, these black things, connected to the back, so you can't really take it too far, but you can at least get it to there. And I put it on top of 2 extra blocks of wood, and I'm going to tie strap it so it doesn't tip back. I'm just stringing these together, these tie straps. Not doing them tight, it's just so it's just held in position and don't fall backwards for when I take the drum off. Not the drum, the discs and that. Yeah, that's loose. Nothing's being pulled tight. None of the hoses, none of the black lines for the sensors. Everything's just loose and it's not in the way. And you can see the disc spins, so, and it's not having anything to do with the steering rod here. So I can be able to turn that now, and it's not affecting the caliper, as you'll see now. There you go, you see, a little bit of a wobble on it, but see, it's separate and it's just staying on top of them pieces of wood. All the hoses, the black wires with the sensors in, none of that's being obstructed, it's just hanging there nice. So we can now take the wheel hub off with the disc. Yeah, let's take that off now. Doesn't take much, look. Now some people, when they take the bearings off or put them back on, they mark this to see where they want it to be. If they're just inspecting them and they're going to re-grease them, they'll put them back and they'll make a mark on this. I don't do that, because if you're going to put new bearings in, front and back with a new seal and all that, them marks are not going to be relevant, so it makes no difference. But if you're just taking it off just to redo and re-grease your bearings, then you mark it, but that's not what I do, so I'm just taking these off. You're not damaging this, you're only putting a few light taps on it, so don't be worrying yourself about that. You can see which way it goes round. This is the outside, it's got all that yellow paint on it and stuff, and it's flat on the back. There's your front piece, that's that one. Always put them down exactly how you want to put them back on. That's how I ever do. And there it is, lifted off. So we're going to take that now, put it on the bench. Okay, quick point. If you're going to leave this for any length of time, a couple of days, weeks, fortnight, whatever, if you leave this unattended and it's raining, you're going to get a build-up on, if you wiped all this down, you're going to get a build-up of rust on this. It's just, that's just the way it is. So make sure you cover it up with something. I just got an old bin bag here, going to wrap it all up. Make sure it's all tight all the way around it. Get it all done. Get a tie strap on it. You know, you get sidetracked. You get sidetracked doing stuff. Everybody does. You think you're going to do it all in one day, but you don't. Shit happens. So it's nice and tight. There we go. That's good enough. No water going to get in that now, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, make sure you cover it up, guys, if you're not going to be doing the job straight away. All right. Okay. Okay. There's the back of the disc, which is in good nick. No real pitting or anything. It's in good nick, that. Slight little lip around the edge, but other than that, there's nothing wrong with that. Seal looks decent. Let's just pop it out. See the markings on it. It's got all the numbers around that, so I'll clean that up so that I can take it to the bearing shop and get a new seal. Let's just put that on that. I don't want to drop that in the petrol. I'll just put that to one side. Right, let's lift the bearing out. That's pretty dry, that. Look at it. So we're going to drop that in the petrol. I'm going to clean all that out. Look at that, it's bone dry in there. We're going to take these races out as well. Okay, let's have a see what's stamped on this, on the bearing. So we got Japan, Koyo, high cap, so I'm assuming that means maybe high capacitor, and the serial number is 3320 5JR. So we're going to take this one out, put this in the petrol as well. I'm going to wash them out as well as the other one that I've just put in a minute ago on the back. We're going to give them a good washing, and then we'll get the markings or the numbers off the rear bearing as well after I've cleaned it. Okay, let's have a look at this bearing. You see a bit of staining there. You know, even though all the grease is out of these wheels should still move on their own. That one's moving freely. That one doesn't want to budge. That one does. Nope. Right, let's have a look at these. See what it says. We've got Germany plus M. I'm assuming that's Mercedes. SKF, meaning these are good bearings. I think that's a Swedish company. AKLM 501349, looks like a Q. So these are Mercedes owned bearings. How long they've been on, I have no idea. You know, most people at a pinch will just change the front bearing instead of doing them in pairs. You know, a garage might do that, or you might just do it yourself, save you taking the whole of the hub off. But it's false economy. If you're going to do your bearings, do them both. Make sure you pack them all out. Right, let's have a look at the smaller one at the front. So, same again. Keys looks all in good nick, no issues there. Let's get my fingers stuck into that so we can roll it. Oh yeah, look at that one. That's got yeah, my nail's getting stuck in that one. It's got a bit of a gouge in it. Don't seem to be rolling too good on their own. Yeah, we know there's no grease in it, but you still should be able to turn them round. You know, collectively, when it's doing that, that's what it's doing. But you still need these rollers to individually roll. It's alright doing that, but you need them to be sort of like, you don't want any of them sticking. Look at that one, that's stuck. That one. So, you know, when you do your bearings, you've really got to pack them in, because in the middle of the hub, there's a chamber, there's an empty section there. And you've got the cap on the front where you put your nut on. So when you put your bearings on and you've really packed them on, if anything, any of it wants to squeeze out, just to give it some space on the bearing, it'll go in the cap or it'll go in the chamber. So when you fit these, really pack the bearing with grease, and I'll show you how to do that. This is how I always do it. How you do it is entirely up to you, but I'll show you how I do it. Anyway, let's have a look what this says. I showed you before anyway, but I'll say it again. Japan, Koyo, high cap, which I'm assuming is high capacity. Serial number 3320 5JR. So that's that one. Let's have a look at the seal. See what this says. Let's have a look what the name of it is. Wow, look at that. It's got West Germany stamped on the side. How long ago was that? What, 30 odd years since you took the wall down? West Germany. So is this old stock? Maybe. How long it's been on? I have no idea. It's got a Mercedes badge there. Don't know if you can pick this up. I've got 019997 0947 CFW1 5575 8/13, and then we're back to West Germany. Look at that. Wow, West Germany. We've moved on since then, haven't we? Anyway, all these now are going to be taken to Simply Bearings, that's local to me, and I'm going to get a new seal and brand new SKF bearings. I don't buy the cheap budget ones, I buy good quality bearings because they'll last you. You know, you have them on a couple of years, then do it again, change them over. They're only cheap considering, because if you have a catastrophic fucking failure on these, it'll cost you a lot more. Do your bearings and get them done. Watch the video. If you're not competent at doing what I'm doing, take it to a garage or get somebody you know who's really good at doing what they do. I've done lots of bearings on lots of vehicles and I know what I'm doing when I do these. Anyway, let's go and get some new bearings. Okay, got the head camera on, so I'm going to show you how to tap these out. Now you can use, if you want, a little hammer, and there's your race at the bottom. You see that? See that little lip? See that lip at the bottom we're going round? That's what we're going to tap out. That's the back of the race. So we're going to tap this out. But I don't use these. I think they're too small. I use a proper chisel and a weighty mallet. And this is what you do. Basically, you can go there and you can put it in 3 different sections if you want, but I don't. I just go round. Just keep hitting it round, little taps. Because you've got a weighty mallet, you've not got to really whack it, it's just... And you can actually see, I don't know if you can see it, there's a gap there now, see the gap? There's a gap inside, and you're tapping it out. That's all you need to do. Not big whacks, just take your time. Make sure you do it equal all the way around. Don't knock it out sideways or skew with. Just keep it nice and equal as you go around. Yeah, how hard was that? See, it's out, dropped in at the bottom. I'll just turn it over and show you. There's your race. We've just hammered this part from the other side, and there's the lip that this sits on. See it in there? And that's how it goes in. But we've hammered it out. So this all wants cleaning out. But now, if you look at the bottom, let me just get a cloth. There we go. If you look there now, that's the big race at the bottom. You can't really see that. I don't know if you can see it or not. So now we're gonna do the same process on this all the way around. So that is the edge. So what I've got that chisel on there is this bit on the big race at the bottom. So we're going to now knock that one out. So same procedure. I just find it easier with a big mallet. No, I'm not hitting it hard. If you had a little hammer, you'd be really whacking it, and you don't really want to do that. There's lots of little taps going round. what, bloody heavy this hammer. Coming near to the end now, I can feel it. Sounds different. I'm going to drop out in a second. There you go, it's out. And we'll turn it over and we'll have a look at that one. So, let's lift it up. There's the race. There you go, all knocked out. Very simple. You've not damaged the inside or anything like that. All you've done is been tapping this. That's all you've been tapping. And if you look, there's no damage to it. And you've only had that little lip there to hammer it out. That's all you've done. And that's that job done. Nothing hard about it. So we're going to get these all cleaned up now inside, and then we're going to get ready to fit the races. I use this same camera, same procedure. One other thing is, if you notice, I stack them up on blocks of wood. You can do it on the floor if you want to, but then you've got your studs on the floor and you're tapping it. You may damage the end of your studs a little bit. It's easier if you put it on blocks of wood. I've just set up a bit of a seat here so I can actually do the camera, and I wanted it near enough that you could actually see what's what, but you can clearly see down inside it's all sorted. So we're going to clean all these out and get it all ready for the new races going in and the new bearings, and we can get it all assembled and put new seal in and everything. So anyway, that job's done. Let's get on to the next bit. Okay, just got back from picking up my new SKF bearings for my wheels. There's my grease. Grease is all ready. I usually put all mine. I keep that one topped up. That's the stuff that I used on my back axle and all that. Good stuff, that. Shoes there, that's all there. These have all been cleaned, all been sorted out. There's the old bearings, as we showed you before. There's the old seal. Here's the new bearings. Look at them, nice. There's the race. Spot on, well pleased with them. There's the big one for the back. SKF, look at that, nice. And there's a new seal. So we're all set for tomorrow. Okay, before I knock these races into the hubs, I'm going to stick them in a sandwich bag, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer overnight. It's what I always do, it just helps them contract a little bit, makes them go in a bit easier, doesn't do them any harm whatsoever. So they're ready to go in the freezer, and while they're in there I'm going to grease these up, stick them in this sandwich bag so that they're ready for tomorrow. Okay, so let's get these greased up. This is what I normally use, wrote it on the top. This is an old cleaning tub. When this gets low, I just get another cartridge, squirt it all in there. And this is how I do bearings. Big blob, start packing it in. It's a messy job, so get some gloves on. Push it all in from the top. Just keep packing it in. You're doing it like that because you're shoving it down inside the lip there, and you're going to build it up. And then we're going to go in from the other end. So I'll show you. Big handfuls. You'd be surprised how much can go inside these. You might think that's full, but it's not, because you've only got it in the entrance. You've got to really push it in so it goes in. You want these completely packed out. Like I said earlier, you've got the end cap and you've also got the inner chamber, so if this bearing wants to shove a bit out and give itself a little bit of space, you're doing that. See, look, it's not come through on the other side yet, so keep passing it in. Got this grease from the bearing place. I had a chat with them and they said, no, this is the good stuff. That's why you need these gloves on, because it's messy. Try not to get it on all your other stuff, like I've got something on that, and as you start transferring it all over, and it's a fucking mess. So just keep it on your gloves. It's not a race, just make sure you get it all in, pack it in. Now when we put it in these bags, some of this grease will probably come off on the edges, so tomorrow when we're fitting them, we're just going to smear some more on the end because I want this completely covered. Now we're trying to get it inside the rollers as well. Even though we packed it in, we want to get that all in there. Don't want any spaces. You know, and I've got quite a few handfuls here, haven't I? Get it all in. As we also put a bit of grease in the cap when we refit it all, and when we've knocked the races in, we'll put a bit of grease underneath the races all the way around, and a small touch on the race, on the hub as we tap the race in. So you just put a little smear of grease, but we're going to show you all that. You know, I know this is a long video, but you go on YouTube, you see some of the videos and they cut things out, and you know, just right. I'm happy with that. It's all in, there's no gaps, there's no spaces, all the way around. I completely packed it all in that way and that way, so it's all bunged up inside. So that's that one done. I'll just put that one there, and then we're going to do the small one. Same process, no different. If you pack it in down that way, you'll actually see it coming out at the bottom if you want to do it that way. I just leather the crap out of these with grease. I just batter them, just keep pushing it in. You get some people saying, yeah, you don't need to do that. Well, you do it the way you want to do it, but this is the process I use, and it serves me well what I do. I don't have no issues with anything. But once you know how to do this, or you've took your rubs off or whatever it is, and you just want to re-grease your bearings and take them all out, you know what to do. You know, it's not hard. Yeah, it's a bit entailed doing that nut at the front, trying to get it just right, but you can use one of those dial gauges if you want. It makes life easier for you, but I've done loads over the years, so I don't use one. You know, you can cut forward on this video if you want, but I'm just doing it in real time so you can see everything. I could have just jumped forward and said this is what I've done, but stuff that. I'm going to show you. And it doesn't matter because you've got gloves on. Just get it in there, get it all packed. See, look, when I'm shoving it down, you can see it squashing out of the side, watch. Because it's full all over. Okay, I'm happy with that. That one's done. Okay, so we're going to put that in there with that. Yeah, there's the grease. Put that back because there's obviously nothing wrong with it. Let's get these off. Yeah, how tidy was that? No issues. Not gonna let them roll around in there. Just gonna seal the bag. Get the air out. Put the cap back on. And we're ready for tomorrow. So now I'm going to clean the hub up. Going to get it in the back garden, wire brush, clean it all off, put some brake cleaner on. I had that one yesterday but I run out, so when I finish the job off, because I've just got this from the car shop, so while we're waiting for the races overnight, well, I mean I could leave them a couple of hours, some people do that, but I'm in no rush. I've got to do. She's going to drag me down the shops anyway, so I might as well go and get that over with. Okay, just got back in from the garden after cleaning all this up. You can see there, it's a bit shiny around that one and a bit around the edges here. I use this scouring wheel. It's like it's got abrasive pads on it. It's ideal this. Put it in your drill, get it whizzing. Don't get carried away. You're not grinding it down. You're just cleaning the excess shit off. It's all been washed off with brake cleaner. Inside's all been cleaned, all wiped, all ready for the new races to go in tomorrow. Let's have a look at the sides and the back. As you can see, there's a sheen to it all. This all had the wire wheel in the drill. Spent a good half an hour cleaning all this up, plus the wire brush, giving it all a good cleaning up. Trying to get it all sorted. Did every these buggers. And you can also see there, you see them shiny bits? This had real good build up this. Well, it wasn't good, it was crap actually. Really good build up of rust. So this really cleaned it off, this scouring disc. As you can see, you can see that it took it all off. And that's what you want, you're not getting carried away, you're not grinding anything, you're just cleaning this shit off. You can see the shine all cleaned off. If you're going to do it proper, guys. Just get it all cleaned up. Let's have a look at this. That's this side. This just had the wire wheel on it and the wire brush. Got it all cleaned up already. This race has all been cleaned out as well. Let me just put it back the other way. All washed off as well with brake cleaner. The spray, which is good. There's the big seal, the other one's in there, next to the ice cream. Okay, this one's been in the freezer for the last 2 days. Got sidetracked doing other stuff and it's well cold, so that is going in there now. And we're going to tap it in using the old race. And this, like I showed you the other day. This is the ammo we're going to use. It's going in nice and straight, as you can see. Okay, all tapped in now, as you can see. Let's just turn it over so you can see where it's tapped to. You can see, well, let me do it this way, it's easier for you. Can you see down in there? I'll put my hand in the other way. There's the lip. And the seal, you can see it all around the bottom. It's all in place. It's all tapped up to the face, where it should be. So, now we're going to turn it over. And I'm going to put some grease underneath the seal here, and a bit on the face, and then we're going to put the seal in. That's there. Let's get this. None of this does any harm putting this in here. It's just a bit of extra. That's that. Let me get a cloth and wipe that off. There's the bearing we did yesterday. Put some more on it. Don't forget, all this can squeeze off. If it doesn't need it, it'll either go in the chamber. So you drop that in there, and that's that part done. Yep. Now, get my cloth. Now we're going to push the seal in. You don't need loads of grease where the seal's going, so we can wipe that off. Give my hands a good washing. Get as much grease off as I can. Okay. There's the new seal. Now we're going to tap that in place. And we're going to use this one. This is a 46mm. Fits on there nice. Now I could use this one, but it's got them teeth in and I don't want to do that, so I don't want to damage it. So here's the hammer. All going in the same. Yeah, that's in place. Perfect, all the way around. Nice. That's just how you want. It's the same all the way around. One side's not more than the other. It's just right. And that's what we want. This part's done. Now, when I turn it over, we're going to put the other race in for the other side, but I don't want any shit to get into this. So when I turn this over now, I'm going to get some pieces of paper to put on this sheet here. Just give me a second. Because I don't want any crap going into here now. Now we've cleaned it all out, and I don't want any crap getting in there, getting stuck in that grease. So I'm going to put that on there like that, and we're going to turn it over. And that's already in there. And now we're going to put the smaller race in on this side, and I'll go and get that out of the freezer, and I'll start the video again in a minute. Okay, back. There's the other race, the smaller one. It's going to go in now. You want to put these in as quick as you can. As you leave them outside for 20 minutes, half an hour, they're going to warm up, so put them in the freezer will be just a total waste of time. So Yeah, look at that, freezing cold. So anyway, that goes in there. It actually drops in the top quite easy. So now we're going to use this one. This one. I don't need to use the other race because this is a perfect fit. If you look, I'll go all the way around. Let me just get it lined up nice, and you can see. You see it? It's got silver all the way around, which is just right. So, hammer. I think that's bottomed out. Yes, it is. The sound changed. So let's just have a look at this one now. You can see it's all the same all the way around. You can see the other lip where it's gone down to. All the way around there. No damage. Let's have a look, see if we can see through the bottom. Yep. You can see in there where it's bottomed out. So that's all done. That's all good. Get the crap out of the way, put it back down again. Okay, so now we've got to put some grease under this seat, this smaller one. So we're going to put some underneath. It doesn't do any harm, like I said before. Your spindle's going to be in here. It's not going to do it any harm. You're not overpacking it. So fit it underneath there. Okay, so we've got all the grease in now. We're happy with that. Now we're going to carry it out. Push it on the spindle. Manoeuvre it so that the seal sits on the back where it's supposed to sit. That's where you want it. Then we're going to put the bearing in, push that on to the spindle. Then we're going to fit the locking washer on, and then we're going to tighten the locking nut with the bolts in. So we're going to, so it doesn't come off. So we're just going to put it all on, get it all nice and snug, and then we're going to go about doing the tightening sequence. Okay, cool. Okay. Now you might not want to do this. You might just put your hub and your disc back on. I make the effort. I clean all this off and the sensor. Got some brake cleaner. Just gonna get the wire brush. I'm gonna clean all this shit off first. Make sure you get it all clean. That's the end of the sensor. Just clean the end of it up. Only takes you a couple of minutes to do this. Short and sweet, wasn't it? That's all sorted. Now we'll get the other one. Okay, whenever I fit a seal on a shaft, I put a bit of this on. Razor blast. It's like a soft compound. It does no harm when you're putting your seal on. Also helps to keep a nice seal. You only need a light bit all the way around. Because you've cleaned everything off now, you're not going to get any crap going in your seal. you push it all on. Okay, so we're good to go with that now. Now we're going to push the hub on. Heavy bugger this. Okay. Right, I've got a light over my head. I'd like to sit up while I'm doing this, but I can't. I've got a camera one side, a light over my head, so you'll have to forgive me here because I'm reaching in on this side. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. So let's go. Here we go. There we go. That's gone on. That's gone on. So now we're going to get the bearing out the bag. It's been raining here for 3 days, so which is a pain in the ass. I can't get it finished. So bearings all greased up, as you can see. So that's going in. Let's get that on. That's shoved in. The bags are blowing away now. It's a bit windy here in Manchester today. Fucking depressing shit. Got a bit more grease there we're going to shove on. There's my bits. Got my things ready there, all my little bits. My locking nut. My Allen key. So, can you see that from there? I think you can. Yeah, shove that in. I'll tell you what, I'll move my camera a bit for you. Yeah, that looks okay. Okay, so we've shoved it on. Bearings in. Just going to put a little bit more grease on here, just to give it that extra. If he wants to push it out later on, it can do. This is just what I do. You do what you want to do. You watch other videos on YouTube. You do what you want to do. I'm just showing you how I do it. Remember guys, if you're not up to doing this job, take it to a garage. This is just meant to show you how to do it if you want to do it. Okay, now we've got, what have we got here? So we got, I've got to hold it close because I'm trying to keep it all in forward. So there's your locking washer, that goes on there, see it? And you've got your locking nut. Now what you have to do, I just happen to have a spanner that fits this from this side, so it's a bit easier for me. So what you want to do is tighten it up a touch, like I'm doing here, because you want to bed the bearings in. We're just going to tighten it up a touch. I'm trying to do it so you can see. Let me get my camera so I can see what it is I'm doing. So now we've tightened it up a little bit and we're bedding the bearings in. Now I can feel that that's gone pretty tight. It's handy having the spanner, but it's a bit awkward to get in there. So I'm just spinning this round, tighten up a little bit more. Now that's too tight, you don't want that. Now I don't use a dial gauge, it's entirely up to you whether you use one of them. Now, by all means you do that, but I don't do that. I've done lots of bearings. So now we want to back it off a touch. Tighten it up a bit more. Let me get it with that hand. It's about feel. It's about getting the feel with this. I know that is tight. It's not ideal, this spanner. I want to be on this side, but you won't be able to see if you hold it there, as I've got my hand on it. So I'm doing it from this side. So anyway, that's what you do. I can feel that's too tight, so now we're going to back it off. You want to try and get a nice spin without much. There's not much in it what you actually undo, you know, to get the nice bearing to be just running right. If you look, I'm only moving it in touches. If you have it too tight, they're going to be binding, and that's no good, and you're going to burn them out. If you have them too loose, you're just going to knacker them. It's all about feel when you're doing it without one of those dial gauges. You want to get it just right. I'll show you now. If you undo it too much, you can you hear that? That's too loose. That's what you don't want. When you go for MOT, and the guy doing the testing, that's what he listens for. Listen, that's too loose. So we're going to tighten it up a bit. See, that's gone. I've only turned it a bit, but that's nice. I'm quite happy with that. It's just about feel, you know. There wasn't much in it. I'll just go through that again. I'm going to keep going over this. You might think, wow, why is he doing this? Because I'm just trying to get it through to you. The difference in them, just a touch. Now, just watch how much that moves. Watch. And that's still not moving. So I've only moved that a bit. And that's moving nice. There's no play in it. There's no banging or anything like that. Now if you look, you can see how the bearings push that extra grease out because it doesn't need it. See it? You can see it in the edges, and that's what it'll do. Get its own, how it wants to be set. Now I've got nothing in that. And that's moving freely. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to tighten that up. Be careful not to move it, okay? Once you've got it set. But that's just how I do it. I do it by feel. But you can actually do this as long as you follow the book and you use a dial gauge. This is not a difficult job. It is difficult. I know I make it sound a little bit easier, but it isn't a difficult job as long as you go through the whole process, doing it how it tells you to. Tighten them up. That's tight. That's not going to come off. And I'm happy with that. Look. Everything's done. I've got no play in it. And I'm happy with that. I shouldn't get any issues with it. Any excess grease on the bearings will push out this way or the other. There's some on the shaft because it'll be spinning round, and on the other end the bearing will shove it into the cavity that's at the back of it. It's inside this hole. So as far as I'm concerned, that's done. There's nothing wrong with that. The bolt's all locked up. So I'm going to knock the cover back on now. You're better off with a little rubber mallet, but I can't find mine. Just light taps. Don't be flattening it or anything like that, just all the way around till you get it in. There you go, it's on, it's done. So now we're going to get the caliper on. I'm just going to move the camera. Also remember, before you put your caliper on, put some brake cleaner on both sides of the disc to clean it up. I did it on the bench and I've not touched it since I've fetched it out, but make sure you get some brake cleaner on. You don't want any grease on there, otherwise you're just fucking contaminating your pad. So get some cleaner on. Let's just move the camera. It's easy enough, isn't it? Well, that one went in easier than the bottom one. Oh, I need to take the steering lock off, don't I? Just give me a sec. Now I can tighten the nut up. It's better. Yeah, that's done. So the 19mm bolt's done up at the top. This is done. Okay, I've sent off for another sensor, but it's not arrived. But when it does, I'll take the wheel off and I'll refit it. I'll fit the new one, so you've got two of them. So you've got one there and you should have one at the top. This one's for that side, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which one you put it in, as long as you put it in. So that one will go in there. Make sure you push it in. There's the other one. Straight on. Make sure you put your clip on. Take your sensor out. Pass it through. Sits on there, make sure it sits on right. There's your pin. And you want to make sure you put that in the right way around. You can't put it in wrong anyway, so just make sure you put it on. There it is at the back. There's the hole. Shove it on so it's like that. And get your little hammer. Make sure it sits on there right. I'm just going to get a little screwdriver to knock the back, because you've got to get that to locate in that little hole at the side. And just get a screwdriver. Yeah, that's in on this side. And I can see it here now, just near the end. So that's all in position. Just get that spring back onto there. There we go. Yeah, all in place. It's easy enough to move, it's not hard. That's done. Now we're going to get the wheel on. Okay, wheels back on the floor. Camera set up. Torque wrench is set to 76 Newton meters. That's for these nuts. So we're going to tighten these up. So when I did the impact wrenches today, it tightened them virtually to the settings that we want. But now we'll get the trim up. Now I'm going to refit the camera underneath on the chassis, point it at the wheel. We've just done the bearings on, and we're going to go for the drive and we'll have a listen and see if we can hear out on the bearings. But I'm quite confident of what the work I've done, so we shouldn't have any issues. Okay guys, just got back after doing the second recording, after fitting the wheel bearings, and I'm going to jack it up and we're going to see if there's any movement, any play like you would see in the MOT. When you take it there, they wiggle the wheel, see if there's any play in it, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay, I'll jack it up. Listen to that, not even a sound. That's what you want. Okay, position. Oh, let me get it a bit higher so I can get my hand up in it. Nothing. No play, no movement. Spot on that. Yeah, there's nothing there guys, nothing at all. Nothing. So the bearings are fine, there's no issues with it. As you can see, free spinning, that's just how you want it. Couldn't ask for anything better. So that's a good job, I've done that, I'm happy with that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.